The Great Council of Galaxies met once every 100 years. The meeting room was huge, shining with silver light. It floated in space between stars. Inside, the leaders of many alien species gathered. Tall, short, some with wings, others with glowing skin. They had come to speak of one species: humans. At the center, the council leader, Grand Chancellor Vorax, stood tall with dark green skin. His voice echoed across the room. Let us begin the discussion. Subject: Earth. Species: human. A loud laugh followed his words. It came from General Kark of the Drelek Empire. Humans? Again? Kark said with a grin full of sharp teeth. They are weak. They cry. They fear war. The others laughed too. From the spider-like Saltrians to the cloud-shaped Vonar, all agreed. They are soft, said one. Too emotional, said another. They make peace, not war, someone added. Only one alien did not laugh. Shorin, a historian from the wise Alteri species. He had golden eyes and spoke little. He watched, thinking deeply. He remembered old records that didn't match the jokes being told now. Shorin finally spoke. If they are weak, why did Earth survive the ancient wars? The room became quiet, just for a moment. Grand Chancellor Vorax waved a hand. Luck. Perhaps they hid. Perhaps they were ignored. They offered peace to everyone, another voice said. Fools. They shared their knowledge. They gave food to starving worlds. Yes. Kark laughed again. Who does that in a time of war? Only weaklings. Joran didn't smile. He opened a small hologram from his datapad. It showed Earth's history, wars, pain, destruction, but also something else. They fear war, yes, Zoran said. But maybe not like we think. Maybe they fear it themselves. Nobody understood. Kark waved him off. Stories, old legends. They're peaceful now, that's all that matters. But what if they are only peaceful because they remember how dangerous they once were? Joran asked. The others ignored him. Plans were being made. A new war was coming. A powerful alien faction called the Varnok planned to conquer the edge of the galaxy. Earth's colonies were in the way. They will run, said the Varnok leader. When they see our ships, they will hide. They always do, said another. Humans are afraid. A few days later, Earth's ambassadors received a message from the Council. War is coming. If you are smart, you will surrender. No reply came. Earth was silent. Then, one day later, the message arrived. It was short, calm, but chilling. It said, If war comes to Earth, remember this. We do not forget. We do not forgive. And most of all, we remember how. The Council laughed again. Words. Empty threats, said Kark. But Joran did not laugh. He kept looking at Earth's signal. He zoomed into the audio wave. Hidden inside the voice was something strange, an ancient human war code, one not used in over 1,000 years. Joran's golden eyes widened. They've activated something, he whispered to himself. Something old, something sleeping. That night, Soren couldn't sleep. He searched through more data. He found reports of human training camps, silent cities with hidden weapons, space stations that didn't send out signals. It was as if Earth was waiting. They do not fear war, Soren finally said out loud, alone in his chamber. They fear what happens when they stop being peaceful. The sky above Earth's colony on Nova 7 was clear and quiet. Children played in green parks, workers repaired solar roads, and scientists worked on peaceful projects. There was no army. No tanks. No defense walls. The Varnok fleet arrived just after sunrise. Black ships filled the sky. Their engines roared like thunder. Civilians looked up in fear. No one was ready for an attack. The Varnok expected screams, panic, and surrender. Instead, they saw people moving in calm silence. A voice echoed from the colony's loudspeakers. All civilians to shelters. Emergency code. Emberfall. No one cried. No one ran wildly. The children followed their teachers underground. The workers sealed the research labs. Doctors stood by in case of injuries. The Varnock commander, Admiral Krell, frowned. "Why is there no panic?" he asked. His second-in-command answered, "They must be in shock. Attack now." The first wave of Varnock fire hit Nova 7's upper atmosphere. Explosions danced across the sky. Buildings collapsed. Fires spread. The Varnock laughed. But when they landed, the colony was empty. Every person was gone. Shelters were deep underground, shielded, silent, hidden from scans. The Varnock tried to find them, but failed. Then something strange happened. The human defense systems began to vanish. Weapons, computers, generators, gone. "Where is their equipment?" Admiral Krell shouted. It was like Earth had taken it back, hidden it from the galaxy. In the council chamber, the attack was being broadcast live. Leaders watched with joy. "They will beg for mercy soon," said General Kark. But Joran watched carefully. He noticed something the others didn't. The humans had not fired back. They had not tried to stop the attack. They were waiting. 3 days later, a second colony was attacked, Eden Prime. Same pattern. Ships came, civilians disappeared. Equipment gone. No resistance. Only silence. But then, one Varnock warship vanished. Its signal was cut in midspace. No explosion. No distress call. Just silence. The next day, 2 more ships vanished. Then 5. Then 12. Admiral Krell screamed in anger. "Where are they going? Who is doing this?" Back on the council world, panic started to grow. Soren stood up during the emergency meeting. "They are not running. They are preparing. And we are not hunting them. They are watching us." The room went quiet. Kark growled, "How can you be sure?" Soren tapped a button. A map appeared, showing every human colony. Then he showed where the Varnock fleet had been, and where the ships disappeared. "They are drawing you in, bit by bit, like a spider pulling prey into its web." "But they haven't attacked," another alien said. "Not yet," Soren replied, "because humans don't strike first. But when they do, it's already too late." In deep space, far from any known route, human fleet commanders met in silence. General Mira Villos of Earth Space Defense looked across the room. "They think we are afraid," she said. Another officer smiled. "Let them think that. Fear makes them foolish." General Mira turned to an old man in a gray coat. His name was Commander Ron, retired, ancient, but still sharp. "Are your shadows in place?" she asked. He nodded. "Our ships are cloaked. Our outposts moved. The council will not see us coming." Mira gave the order. "Begin Phase 2. Operation Emberfall is active." Back on Earth, a signal was sent across secret channels. Old war veterans received it in the night. Engineers woke up and packed their bags. Hidden AI systems turned back on. Earth was waking up. And the galaxy had no idea. Far beneath the ice of Antarctica, deeper than any satellite could scan, a door opened after 200 years. The facility had no name, only a number. Station 09A inside. The walls were covered with dust and ice. The power had been off for generations. Then, in the dark, a red light blinked. Click. A soft hum filled the air. "Where?" Gears turned. Doors unlocked. A voice spoke from the darkness. "Protocol Emberfall confirmed. Awakening authorized." In Earth's military command center, General Mira Villos stood still, watching the map. The Varnock fleet had spread too far. They thought they were winning. But in truth, they had walked into Earth's trap. "Are the AIs online?" Mira asked. A young officer nodded. "Yes, General. All 6 war cores are awake, including Core 0. Everyone in the room turned quiet. Core Zero had not been activated since the last solar war. It was the most dangerous weapon Earth had ever made, not because it destroyed planets, but because it learned war. Mira took a deep breath. Then the old world is waking. At the same time, across the galaxy, old warriors and retired captains received encrypted signals. Some were living normal lives now. Farmers, teachers, even artists. But when the signal came, they knew what to do. One by one, they left their homes, their families, and disappeared into the stars. They didn't need orders. They knew the war Earth had been avoiding was finally here. Chorin watched all of this unfold. He had hacked into secret Earth channels using a stolen human device. What he saw shocked him. Earth had never been unprepared. While other species built bigger guns, Earth built deeper shadows. They didn't make armies. They made ghosts. Silent ships, disappearing bases, soldiers trained to think like hunters. They waited, Soren whispered, for the right moment. And now, it's here. On the edge of the galaxy, a Varnock destroyer named Fang's Claw patrolled empty space. Captain Jurek was bored. No humans here, just rocks and dust. Suddenly, all lights went out. Emergency power came on. The stars outside vanished. Then nothing. The ship was gone. No explosion. No escape signal. Just erased. 3 more Varnock ships vanished the same way that week. The galaxy started to panic. Back on Earth, Project Emberfall moved forward. In an underground city called Echo Red, engineers and scientists worked without sleep. Massive machines were being rebuilt. Not tanks or bombs, but strange weapons that confused enemy scanners, made ships crash, and shut down entire fleets without a shot. Human commanders said these weren't tools of war. They were lessons. Above Earth's orbit, a secret ship called the Warden was launched. It had no weapons, only one mission: watch every movement in the galaxy and find the moment to strike. The Warden's pilot was an AI named Silence. She had no face, no voice, only thoughts, and her thoughts were sharp like knives. "I see them," she whispered to herself. "They think they are strong, but they do not know what is coming." Soren went to the council again. This time, he didn't ask questions. He made a warning. "Stop the attacks. Call back the fleets. You do not understand Earth." But General Kark laughed as always. "You've fallen for their lies, Destorian. You fear shadows." Soren leaned forward. "No, I fear the day when Earth stops holding back." Back in the icy halls of Station 09A, Core Zero finished its calculations. It had studied war across 10,000 years. Its voice echoed through the chamber. The probability of peaceful resolution is 0.3%. Initiating Phase 3. Across space, hundreds of hidden human bases sent one signal. Phase 3 authorized. Shadows, prepare to strike. And then, silence. No attack came. No ships moved. Just a cold, heavy quiet across the stars. Because the galaxy had not yet understood one thing. The most dangerous enemy is the one who waits. The sky above Veltrax Prime, a powerful council planet, was always filled with traffic, trading ships, royal guards, science vessels. On that day, the sky was different. At first, everything looked normal. Then, exactly at noon, every engine shut down. Ships froze mid-air. Lights blinked. Communication towers died. Gravity fields failed. One by one, ships fell from the sky like rain. "The sky!" cried Fire. General Kark was on Veltrax Prime during the blackout. He ran to the control room, shouting, "What is happening? Is it a virus? Is it sabotage?" The answer came seconds later. A message appeared on every screen, every device. It was simple. "Return, step back. Earth is not yours to test." There was no signature, no name, but everyone knew who sent it. Humans. The council called an emergency meeting. Leaders of every major species attended. shaken, angry, confused. How did they shut down our planet? One asked. They didn't fire a weapon. Another whispered. No missiles. No lasers. Soren stood silently. He already knew the answer. They used silence, he said. They watched us, studied us, then they pressed the exact nerve. But why didn't they kill anyone? Asked a young ambassador. Because, Soren said, they weren't trying to destroy us. That was a message. A warning. Elsewhere in the galaxy, Earth's forces moved like shadows. They appeared, shut down power stations, disabled fleets, erased data, and vanished before anyone could stop them. No one died. But fear spread faster than war ever could. One alien news channel reported, 12 systems lost control today. 29 fleets reported vanishing human ships. Earth remains silent. No demands, no negotiations, only precision. In a dark room on Earth, General Miravelos watched the galaxy panic. An officer said, "They're scared. Some want peace talks." Mira nodded. "Let them come, but we won't beg." Commander Ron entered the room. He had just returned from deep space. "I've seen their leaders," he said. "They're confused. They don't understand how we got so strong without anyone noticing." Mira smiled. "That's because they never looked in the mirror. On Veltrax Prime, the power came back after 5 hours. No one celebrated. Even General Kark was quiet now. He met with Joran in private. "They have tech we don't understand," Kark said. "I thought they were weak." "They are," Zoran replied. "But they chose peace, not because they had to, but because they feared what they used to be." Kark looked worried. "And now?" Joran turned toward the window, looking at the black sky. "Now they remember." A few days later, the Council's homeworld received an anonymous message. It contained one image, the Earth flag flying on a small moon right outside their system. No sensors had picked up the ship. No defense system had triggered. It was as if Earth had placed the flag while everyone was asleep. Across the galaxy, other alien species began pulling their ships back. They didn't want to fight Earth anymore. Not because of losses, but because they realized something. They never really saw Earth at all. They had mocked humans for their emotions, their love for peace, their slow ways. But they forgot the most important thing. Humans choose peace. But when pushed, they remember war. Soren wrote a report titled, "The Day the Sky Cried Fire." It ended with one final line. Earth has returned to the table, but not to ask, only to remind. Back in deep space, AI silence aboard the Warden spoke to General Mira. Targets disabled. Enemies stepping back. "Good," Mira replied. "Let's keep it that way." Silence paused, then added something unexpected. "But General, what if one day someone forgets this lesson again?" Mira looked at the stars and answered quietly. "Then we will remind them." Again, the Council had met 5 times in 1 week. Fear had taken over their halls. Reports came in from every corner of the galaxy. Fleets shutting down mid-flight. Starports losing gravity. Leaders waking to find Earth's symbol marked on their home floors without any alarm triggered. Still, not a single human shot had been fired. And that was what scared them most. Soren stood before the Council once again, holding his latest report. He didn't speak like a soldier. He spoke like a student who had just discovered a terrifying truth. "This is not the war we expected," he began. "They don't want territory. They don't want tribute. They don't want revenge." Kark scoffed. "Then what do they want?" Chorin looked him in the eye. "They want us to realize they were never weak. We just never understood them. Centuries ago, humans had nearly destroyed themselves. World wars, nuclear weapons, chemical disasters. But they changed. They chose peace, chose science, chose unity. And in doing so, they hid their claws. Not because they forgot how to fight, but because they learned when not to. In deep space, near a red dwarf system, a human stealth cruiser followed a Varnock warship. The humans didn't attack. They simply followed, silent, invisible, until the Varnock captain couldn't take it anymore. He turned his ship around, fired everything he had into empty space. Nothing hit. There was no enemy on his scanners. But the human crew saw everything. The Varnock captain was now afraid of shadows. Back on Earth, General Miravelos met with Commander Ron again. They looked over star maps covered in red dots. Locations of every Council base Earth had touched without being seen. "We didn't destroy them," Ron said. "We let them see us. Just enough." Mira nodded. Because real power doesn't shout, it whispers. A young cadet entered the room, nervous. "General, the Council requests a meeting. In person." Mira raised an eyebrow. "Brave of them. They want peace talks." Ron smiled. Now they're ready to listen. The meeting was set on neutral ground, a lifeless rock called Stonereach. Soren arrived first. He was the only Council member who truly wanted peace. The human ship landed quietly. No guards stepped out. Only Mira and Ron. Soren bowed slightly. "You could have wiped us out." Mira's answer was quiet. "That's not how humans lead." Soren hesitated. "Then why show us your power?" Ron stepped forward. His voice was calm but heavy. "Because your kind forgot what we were. You laughed at our peace, mocked our kindness, thought mercy meant weakness." He paused. "But Earth is not weak. We simply gave you the chance to walk away." Soren looked down. "I believe you, but not all in the Council will listen." Mira handed him a small device. "Then let this speak." The device contained footage of Earth's hidden strength, bases beneath oceans, cities under deserts, fleets behind moons. Not to brag, but to warn. "We don't want to rule," Mira said. "We want to be left alone. But if you bring war to our door again, you won't find soldiers." She paused. "You'll find monsters of war that we buried long ago." Back in the Council chambers, Soren played the footage. No one laughed this time. Some wept, some left the room in silence. Kark sat frozen. For the first time, they saw Earth's full truth. The war had already happened, and Earth had won without killing anyone. News spread fast. Humanity was not soft. Humanity was not scared. Humanity was awake. Some species pulled their ambassadors from Earth. Others sent gifts. Some sent apologies. Joran only sent one message to Earth. "We finally understand, and we will not forget." On Earth, Mira received the message. She sat alone, watching the stars. She whispered, "Let this be enough." Ron joined her, holding 2 cups of warm tea. He handed her one. "Think they'll test us again?" She looked into the dark sky. "They might. But next time, they won't be warned." The stars above Earth looked peaceful again. No enemy ships. No alarms. Only silence. But beneath the oceans, deep under ice, and far out in the dark corners of space, Earth's shadows still moved. Not in anger. Not in fear. They moved because Earth remembers. General Miravelos stood in the Hall of Memory. It was a place where no weapons were allowed. Only names. Names of those who died in Earth's old wars, the ones who fell so that others could rise. Beside her, Commander Ron lit a blue flame. "Peace returns," he said softly. Mira nodded, "but it's never free." In the Council's chambers, Soren gave his final report. Earth is not an enemy. Earth is a warning. It is what happens when peace is mistaken for weakness. They do not ask for power. They ask to be left in peace. And if that is denied, they will show the galaxy what they tried so hard to forget. No one laughed this time. No one interrupted. The Council voted. Peace treaty. Approved. Back on Earth, humans celebrated quietly. There were no parades, no speeches, Only small lights placed in windows, one for every soul lost in the past, one for every child born into a safer future. It was the human way. Not proud, not loud, but watching. Always watching. Some alien species tried to understand humans better after that. They sent diplomats, historians, peacekeepers. They walked Earth's forests, sat beside old veterans, listened to children laugh. And they learned something strange. Humans did not love war. They hated it. But because of that hate, they had studied war better than anyone. Because only those who feared war the most prepared for it the best. In a small school on Mars, a Varnock child asked her human teacher, "Why did your people build so many weapons if you wanted peace?" The teacher smiled gently. "To make sure we'd never need to use them." The child blinked, confused. The teacher continued, "If we are strong, others will think before hurting us. That's why we built shadows. That's why we hid power." She paused. "And if someone does hurt us, we end it fast, before more pain can grow." Out in deep space, the warden still floated, silent and unseen. Silence spoke her final words for the year. No threats detected. Earth rests. The galaxy breathes. But her sensors never stopped watching. Because peace is a garden, and gardens need guards. Joran, now retired, wrote one final book. Its title was simple. Earth Remembers. He didn't fill it with weapons or battles. He filled it with moments, with choices, with warnings. His final words read, "We laughed at Earth. Then we saw what they truly were. Not conquerors, not monsters, but survivors of their own darkest days. They do not fight because they enjoy it. They fight because they remember what happens if they don't." Many years passed. The galaxy stayed at peace. But in every academy on every world, students were taught one rule. Do not wake the old Earth. Do not test the fire that sleeps. And so Earth stayed quiet. Not because it was weak, but because it chose to be. Earth remembers. And because it remembers, it watches, it waits, and it protects.